This episode is powered by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, hello and welcome to an all-new episode of the Rated R Safety Show. How are you doing today? This fantastic Tuesday, the 17th of September, day 260, and only 105 days remaining before the shit show's over with. Anyways, we're almost to the midpoint of the week. How's everything going for you? I have to tell you, I've been looking around and looking through some things, and man, some of the news stories today are just plain mind-boggling. So, without much further ado, let's get you started with the news.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
So did you see that Purdue Pharma has filed for bankruptcy on the heels of a $12 billion with a B dollar settlement reached with the state and local governments for its sale of OxyContin? The company itself isn't going anywhere. It's a way to hedge against the hefty penalties in ongoing lawsuits with the more than 2,600 government bodies, according to AP reports. The settlement allows for at least $3 billion in cash paid by the owning Sackler family. So this company is filing for bankruptcy, but it doesn't sound like a legitimate thing based on the news story. What do you think? Do you remember the outcry dealing with opioids and OxyContin in particular that has occurred over the last few years? What are your thoughts on this particular matter? Let's continue. A small study suggests that only 2 in 5 Americans can name at least one local member of Congress. A glimmer of hope, 71%, can name their governor, but 45% say they would not recognize him or her in person. I have to tell you, I think that that's more common than what most people think. What are your thoughts? Do you know who the governor is for your state? And would you recognize them if you saw them in person? So listen to this one. I found this one a little bit interesting. Massachusetts liberal arts school Williams College is launching a science and technology study symposium in November. And it's soliciting academic papers to be presented from across the country. But there's a catch. But you can only apply if you are not white. Yeah, you heard me correctly there. Those chosen will get $500 stipend and get put up by the college while they're in town to present. What do you think? Do you find that one interesting? I thought it was pretty interesting on how it read. And I know some people might be on an uproar about that, but it's pretty interesting on how it all works out from time to time. Here's something that I think we all knew automatically, but I guess it's news story worthy. Going to the grocery store on an empty stomach is a bad idea. But so is about doing just about anything. The University of Dundee is out with a study that says that hunger significantly alters people's decision-making, leading to impatience that seeks out small, immediate rewards. It also indicates poor financial and interpersonal decisions that get made at the time. Well, isn't there this thing called being hangry? I get told all the time that I'm hangry, or I'm just being an asshole, one or the other. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I look at it and I go, I know the difference on how I behave on when I'm hungry and when I'm angry. And there's a pretty good combination of both. Here's a question for you. Are you upper class? Pew Research Center reports that thousands earning more than around $120,000 a year are considered upper class. That's 19% of Americans. Worth noting, if you live in an affluent urban areas, the percentage can be much higher. In Santa Clara, California, 32% of adults are upper class. What category are you considered? Are you upper class, making over $120,000 a year? If so, good for you. The New York Times has corrected its article reporting that Supreme Court Justice Brecht exposed himself to a woman while attending Yale. The correction includes the alleged victim's admission that she has no recollection of this event, a point perhaps worth mentioning in the first place. So how in the hell did this become a news story from the beginning, where this lady claimed this? Or was it a payoff? I'm not trying to say conspiracy theories because I know a lot of people get all hung up about that. I was just joking. Or being a jerk. Or being an asshole. I don't know. You figure it out. General Motors says that they have made a stronger offer to improve wages and benefits for striking auto workers, but the union isn't taking it. The package would include improved healthcare benefits, improved wages, expanded coverage for autism therapy, chiropractic care, and allergy testing, and investments to improve the conditions in the plants across the country, among other things. So if that's the case, why doesn't the news story cover why the union isn't willing to take it? There has to be a reason. People just don't say, oh, I'm not taking the offer for no reason at all. There has to be something that's thrown off there. Maybe it's a timeline. Maybe it's total fees. Who the hell knows? Do you know? If you do, please get in contact with us. I would love to be able to share some more information on that. Did you hear that Wall Street Journal alleges that Amazon is accused of fuzzing with its search algorithm so its own product appears on the top of the research results, even if they're not the most relative product? But Amazon is pouring water on the dumpster fire in a statement retorting, we feature the products customers will want, regardless of whether they are our own brands or products offered by selling partners. They added that sometimes their own products are most profitable, a concern that companies keep in mind when adjusting its products. Well. If I own a website where I do e-commerce and I sell my own product and other people's product, what product do you think is going to come up first? Of course, my own product is going to pop up first. That's just the way that people are. What do you think? Do you see a lot of Amazon product on when you're actually looking around? And do you buy the one that's the top seller? Because that's not always the best one. Let's continue. Let's go into my traditional space stories. A star twice the mass of the sun and 700,000 times heavier than Earth has been discovered approximately 4,600 light years away. Here's what's absolutely bonkers. Scientists say it's only 5 miles across. That sort of density is usually only found in black holes. Fox News puts this in perspective. A single sugar cube on this star could weigh approximately 100 million tons, or roughly that of the world's entire human population. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a cube of sugar could weigh 100 million with an M tons on this particular planet. That, my friends, is crazy. So I know we talked about Ebola over the last few weeks. Let's continue down the path. Congo's health minister has been detained by authorities for mismanaging $4.3 million allocated to stop the spread of Ebola. He quit the job in July and says that he never did anything wrong. He had previously been managing the containment efforts across the country, but his power was replaced by a committee reporting directly to the president there. Well, if he's caught or stopped for mismanaging funds, is it one of those things that he was mismanaging funds, or are some people just pissed off that the Ebola spread did not stop at the time? I don't know. What do you think? Your guess is as good as mine. By the way, you might have noticed over the last couple episodes, we have not had any ranters. That was done by design. I'm starting to think we should do one particular day out of the week for the ranters. What do you think on that? Does that make sense? Anyways, if you do want to come out and rant, come out to safetyfm.com or go to the ratedarsafetyshow.com, ratedarsafetyshow.com, and that will actually set you up to be able to rant. We'll do voice protection, whatever you need, because we want to make sure that you're protected just in case if anything goes wrong. Anyways, let's go over the days of the year that you could celebrate today. Constitution Day and Citizenship Day. That's one day just in case. Get Ready Day. National Apple Dumpling Day. National IT Professional Day. Take a loved one to the doctor day. National Monte Cristo Day. National Table Shuffleboard Day. And World Patient Safety Day. So if you're a safety professional, I hope you're celebrating that last day here today, because patients are important. Hopefully you're taking care of yourself too. Anyways, you've been listening to the Rated R Safety Show. I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Duh. This episode has been powered by Safety FM.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.